I'll tell you one thing actually. I was down. I went down a bit of a TikTok rabbit hole last night when I was on the skin.
on the bourbon.
Right, years ago. Do you remember the Skeletor memes?
Yeah.
Where he'd run in and say something. Obviously, I haven't seen him in so long, and someone's done a whole.
Oh, really? I
whole
see them all the time still.
I very rarely see them, but it was awesome. And of course, the one that had me in stitches and giggling like a little boy was, what is it? You can't spell advertisement without semen between the tits. Until we meet again. Dorks Down Under. I was sitting there giggling my head off, and then he was like, What are you watching? And I went, nah. That was the skeleton.
Oh god. Oh. Yeah, no, those ones are, some of those are really clever. Like some of them are, and some of them are just like next level stupid. You're like, oh.
They are. No, they are. They're fabulous. But anyway.
Better.
Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 3. I can't believe we're on episode 3 already.
We're actually keeping up the proper timeline, to be fair.
We are. Oh, yeah, your video. Ooh, there we go. Behave, potato cams. Potato cams playing. Nice.
I'm just gonna glitch.
Just glitching.
It's gonna be like Max Headroom kind of like podcast this week.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll work it out in post.
That's editor Jordan problem.
Yes, editor Jordan, because he's so helpful.
Do you know what? I can't believe this shit. One of them's my friend.
Last week he was.
Right. Can we just say to everyone, apologies for the bad quality. I didn't realise my output settings had decided to set themselves to 720p. That's good to notice after the fact, because I exported everything in 1080p, but of course the quality is maximum is 720, which is helpful.
Yeah.
And it was.
I thought maybe because I was watching it on my phone, I was like, I'll let Jordan do this episode. This will be good. And I'm like, I like his edits. This is cool. I'm like, and when I just thought because it was unlisted and because it was on my mobile, I'm like, maybe it's not grainy. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, no, it was definitely my fault on that one, and these things cannot be helped.
It's fixed now.
It's fixed. Well. We hope it's fixed. Let's just say that outright. We hope it's
tuned
fixed.
To the end of the episode and find out if we fix that shit.
Oh God, no. But yes, so this week obviously we're just going to do a quick recap of what we've been up to for the week. I think that's going to be our little regular spot. Might as well make it. But this week I want to discuss some Aussie culture things because I was blown away by some things on TikTok this week that I was like, what is this nonsense all about? I don't get it because I'm British born and bred. So we'll get to that. And the second half of the show, I want to talk about or discuss things that maybe I'm going to put into my new house, technology-wise, and stuff like that. So also it would allow anyone to give me... It would also allow people to, if you want to comment saying, oh, no, dude, you need one of these bad boys. It lets people give me some ideas. Because I could do with some, I've been thinking a lot, but I could maybe use an outside influence and stuff like that.
I'm excited. This is kind of my jam. Like, I love this stuff. And I know that as soon as I looked at buying a house, I was like, okay, my desk. And then I had to set up this, and then I was like, oh, God. So I'm actually excited for this one. I've been excited since you put it on the cards. I was like, oh.
Well, I figured it would probably float your boat.
Baby.
Float your boat easily enough, definitely.
It doesn't take much, eh?
No, it definitely doesn't. I've just realised there's one slight little thing that's annoying me, and it's the green bar keeps popping up while you're talking. So while I'm fixing that, Des, how about you talk about your week?
Green bar?
Don't it's on the Discord thing. Sorry, you. How about you just talk about your week, Des, first, while I just quickly adjust the box so slightly.
So I have technically not done much this week other than work, which is kind of nice. But there has been something this week that has blown my mind, and I kind of want to share it. So you know how sometimes you get on Facebook and you've got like groups and they're just like, "Oh, post a synopsis of like your favorite movie and let people try to guess."
Oh yeah. Or you've got to badly explain a movie to see and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So So I did my cliche one is I'm like, there's a plane and it's filled with snakes, and that's my little gag one.
Yeah.
But somebody posted one, and it's kind of making me feel a way that I don't know if it's good or not. So they posted it, and when I first read it and when I first did it, I thought I knew exactly what it was, and it's not. And now it's made me think of something and be like, oh my God. So the thing went is that I don't know whether I should tell you. So there's
No,
a
go on.
young
Tell me. You might
male
as well.
orphan. Okay, so it's a young male orphan who's the lead, who lives with his uncle and auntie, right?
Yeah.
When a mysterious bearded stranger comes into his life, and tries to take him away from his auntie and uncle, you later find out that they've known him since he was a kid.
Yeah.
They try to teach him like a form of magic.
Mm.
And then what happens is he's taken under the wing of an older, wiser, sort of like wizard kind of character,
Mm-hmm.
and being taught this magic stuff with these sticks.
Yes.
And then he meets this young girl that they kind of have a bit of a love interest for. There's some sexual tension, but they kind of love each other as a sister. But then what happens is that she actually falls in love with his scruffy kind of comedy relief best friend.
Mm-hmm.
What movie am I talking about?
Well, you're essentially talking about Star Wars, but it could also be interpreted as Harry Potter. Because
Exactly.
I've
This has
seen this on
blown my
TikTok, and
fucking mind.
honest to God, it does feel like J.K. Rowling. When I heard it as well, I was like, oh my God, did J.K. Rowling cheat and just,
Seriously, this just blew my mind. Like I'm like, I like in my head, I'm like, did J.K. Rowling literally just get on the wine one night, watch Star Wars, get a bit shit faced, kind of after Star Wars, after she kind of drunkenly watched Star Wars, kind of was channel surfing, and there was something about Camelot or Merlin, and then passed out on the couch, and then woke up going, I've got the perfect thing.
Well,
Because
to be fair,
oh my God.
she allegedly wrote, what is it, the Philosopher's Stone on a train ride from, I think it was Glasgow down to London, which is 6 hours, that trip, because I've done it.
You could literally watch the Star Wars film and then write.
You could, you know what, you could.
Seriously, this has blown my friggin' mind, because when you think about it, you're like, okay, Luke and Harry, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the bearded fellow, which is obviously Hagrid or Ben Kenobi.
Yep.
And then obviously the auntie and uncle doesn't want them to be friends,
Yes.
Or doesn't want them to go after this magic thing.
And doesn't want him to be involved with the Force, or doesn't want him involved in magic. We
Yeah,
swore,
and then
swore off
obviously
this
you've got-
business
you've
when
got-
we took the boy in.
I know. And then you've got like Yoda and Dumbledore, and then you've obviously got Hermione and Leia and Hans and Ron. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I read this, and the first thing that came to mind was Star Wars. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had already written that. And then someone underneath, the girl I think it was a girl that wrote it, went, no, you idiot. This is Harry Potter. And I couldn't unsee it. And ever since then, I'm like, so J.K. Rowling's, okay, let's not go into all the other stuff, transphobic and all the horrible things that she's done. Her masterpiece is kind of like just Star Wars with sucky lightsabers.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, Disney did that for The Force Awakens as well. They basically just remake A New Hope, which is what they did.
I know, but but at least it's in the same vein. This is like blown my mind. Like this is just my week has literally spent like I think I read this on like probably like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and ever since then I've been thinking about it. I'm like, and I want to talk to somebody about it, so I'm like, I'm gonna message Jordan. I'm like, I can't message Jordan because it's probably better on the podcast. But when you look at it,
yeah,
it's hella scary.
I know. When I saw the TikTok, I saw the TikTok about it must have been about 6 months ago or something like that. And when I saw it, and I showed Ellie, and Ellie was like, "Yeah, they're not wrong."
So my mind was completely blown, and Jordan's like, "Yeah, I've known about this for ages." Like the fact that you got it like that, I was like, "Motherfucker!"
It's because I saw the
didn't do
TikTok.
well.
Benefits of TikTok, Des.
Oh. Yeah, see, I don't have TikTok, so that's probably why.
I tell you what, did you end up getting around to watching any anime this week?
No, because you didn't send me the link. That's
I did
my
send
excuse.
you the link.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I can find it.
what?
Literally, I'm gonna pull up the message right now. I can tell you. I can literally highlight it to you and say.
I would love to, because I don't remember you actually doing that. So I'm like,
Let's see.
I honestly.
Hang on.
Oh God, Trouble in Paradise, guys.
Trouble
We're
in
already
Paradise.
breaking up.
Yeah, we're breaking up. This is
No,
our
because I was
divorce
going
act.
to, but I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, well, it's because you're just ignoring my messages, obviously, aren't you, Des?
I mean, I won't lie. I know you. I've been playing some. I've re-downloaded Pokemon Go because Jordan has asked me that he needs a friend to trade with when we're in Tasmania together.
Yes.
So I did that for him. I don't remember you sending me any of the thingos. And I'm scrolling through our messenger chat. We did not have this party, people. Jump boom.
We
Jump
did.
boom.
I sent it to you. I did. I'm. What have you done? It was there. All right, fine. Okay, well, for next week, you're going to watch some anime. I'll send it to you. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to send it to you right now, just because you're annoying.
I finally feel like the proper wife in this relationship because I can finally tell you I told you so.
Oh, God, told you all the time. You just never listen to me.
God, I understand why women do this, man. This feels good. I told you so.
Oh, no, you got to do that.
Ain't nobody.
You got to do the finger snap as well. Right. Okay, I found it, and then we share it.
I knew it.
Hang on.
Because I actually was tempted to actually do this, and also one of my friends who's a streamer called Flaming Scott, he just said he's just started the third season of it.
Oh, of Overlord.
Overlord.
Yeah.
That was one you were telling me about, so I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Right, I've now sent it to you this time. Definitely, oh, hang on. Couldn't send. Oh, hang on. Can I not send it to you?
In between where the dot is for the .com or whatever, put a space, and then I can just delete that afterwards. There you go, kids. So there's two tricks that I'd like to teach you about a thing. If you're trying to send a link and it won't link, where the dot is before the .com or if it's .eu or something, put a space and it will send, and then your friend just has to delete it. The second thing I want to do is if you're at work and they won't let you watch this podcast because they've blocked YouTube, go to google.translate, copy the link into there, and then what will happen is you use Google Translate at the search engines, which your work will not be able to ban, and then you can actually watch this podcast at work.
No, it's not that. It's Facebook. Facebook are blocking us.
Yeah, no, that's why you put the space in between the .com. It's my little trick to how to get away with things.
Right. I see
this podcast is educational.
I see what you're saying now.
Educational as well as entertaining.
Okay, so if I could recopy that and put a space,
and it will send, and then I see.
Hang on.
Ain't
Does it?
Nobody.
Deleted.
Sent.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Great.
See.
So yeah.
Just remember, kids.
It's
my shit always works sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well done, Right. Well done. Okay. Well, now you've sent that to you, and you can watch that. You can have some fun.
Okay.
Anything else with your weekdays?
No, I haven't really done anything, but I am going to talk. Hopefully next week I may actually have more to talk about because I'm trying to get a media pass to DreamHack.
Ooh, very nice.
So DreamHack is this weekend. So by the time this episode will be released, it'll be the Friday. So it'll be the following day, which is the Saturday. And it's a massive community event where it's got like esports. There will be, I was going to say, yeah, so it's the 2nd to the 4th actually that it will actually be on. There's like LAN activities, there's signings, there's panels, there's music, there's content creators, and it's kind of like almost like an esports version of PAX. So cool. where it's more spent on the actual players, the games, they've actually got full-on tournaments there and stuff. So a lot of the actual Australian championships will happen there. So yeah, so fingers crossed. I'm still waiting to hear back, but I may be able to get a media pass.
DreamHack's an international. I'm sure I've heard it in the UK.
Yeah.
Is it like so? It's a bit like PAX, but obviously specifically for esports.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one in Rotterdam, I believe. I think it's middle of October. But it looks like, okay, so sorry, I've just gone into the thing. So there's Melbourne the 2nd to the 4th of September, Rotterdam from the 14th to the 16th, Hyderabad, I think, which is in India, on the 2nd and 4th of November, Atlanta in 18th to 20th, and then it's got the winter one, which is in Sweden. We've got one in Spain and one in Germany. But that's what's left for DreamHacks in the 2022.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, the Yogs cast. That's who I know. It was they're Minecrafters from the UK. They're a big Minecraft like content creator group, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I used to watch them years ago, and I'm just trying to think, where do I know DreamHack from? I'm literally, I was racking my brain. I'm trying to think, and yeah, because they used to go to them and they used to have merch stores, and now they do like panels and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, like it's a pretty big event, and yeah, fingers crossed. If you're listening to this, Doug, please, baby. But yeah, I'll probably only go down there for the Saturday, just because that's kind of the big day, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I can't get off work on the Friday, and Sunday. I kind of need a day to myself.
Yeah, why
This pretty face needs its beauty sleep, and Sunday is my beauty sleep day.
not? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with admitting that.
No,
Well,
no. So
so I mean, all my week has been
so
dull.
hopefully you've done as much as you did last week.
No, I haven't. I'll tell you what, I've had a very quiet week. Main reason why is I was obviously healing all week with my leg, because of the tattoo.
I love how you make it sound like it's like, oh man, I had my knee reconstructed. No,
Oh,
people, he got a cool tattoo.
I got a cool tattoo, but I tell you one thing. Oh my lord! I mean, it was really. I mean, because obviously I had discharge for the first couple of days, so I didn't want to really go anywhere because it's like, yeah, it wasn't, and it wasn't pretty. I mean, it was just plasma because it's just plasma with the dye, but it looks like black. It actually looks like Venom symbiote is trying to come out from under it. Yeah, it wasn't nice. But literally, it got to
Let's not. Okay, so normally sometimes what we'll do is we'll show pictures of certain things. We're not going to show this picture. Well, I'm hoping not. It's up to editor Jordan.
We honestly, nobody wants to see a picture of what I was going through. It was not pleasant, but no, it was really it was quite a pain. It was, well, I wouldn't say painful. It was just annoying. You know, it was sort of like, because the problem is like you'd sit down for a period of time and get up, and I mean, the guy warned me about it. He said, before you try and do things, try and stretch out your leg, like do little leg pumps with your calf just to get the blood flowing. He said, because you'll stand up and it'll feel like you'll have Ronaldo running behind you and he's booted you in the back of the leg. And I was like, oh, it can't be that bad, but oh my lord, it is. You stand up and suddenly it's like...
You're like, I'm a man. It ain't going to be that hard. And you're like...
No, it is. You honestly, you feel like a football, like a Premier League football player is running behind you and is full on booted you, and you're just like, oh, you know, you just not. It's not pleasant.
That just.
But now the bandage is off. It's great. I love the bandages off. But now I'm also going through tattoo itching, and I can't scratch it.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh, you know what you use? Really good thing for that is get an ice cube and rub it up and down.
Yeah,
helps a lot for mozzie bites. So there's tip number 3, kids. For those things, if you ever have a mozzie bite or anything itchy like that, use ice, because quite often when mozzies do bite, there is a tiny bit of venom, and that's what irritates the skin. So if you actually rub some ice on it, what it does is it stops it from itching, and it also freezes the venom, which will actually stop the itching for a while. I'm not smart, but I have a lot of useless things.
And now the more you know.
Yeah. And now you know.
Now you know.
By Dez. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, but there's a few little handy hints that I have picked up over my years of traveling. Because somebody like me has to have smarts, because the looks have just gone straight out the window.
Oh, Des, no, you're a beautiful man. You're a beautiful man.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, thank God for the 3 hours of Glam Squad beforehand. Like, seriously.
So this week's been a bit quiet, but I did get some good news today. Some very good news today. I've managed to secure a slot in the early access event for the new Magic the Gathering Dominaria United.
Was that today? Did you get that today?
I got that today, yes. So
I got an email literally today in my work email, like because for Des Does, I actually have a fancy work email that actually is at Des Does. And it's kind of fancy. And literally this morning I checked, and Double Jump Communications is having another event for the new set as well. So I get cardboard.
Oh, you're getting cardboard. I'm getting digital product. I get to join in digital and play sort of thing.
So
2 days.
So we may actually have a Dominaria podcast, because we're probably going to have both been able to play it, and we are unfortunately both Magic nerds. So please don't hold those against us. We'll put something exciting on afterwards, like fireworks or something after it, so you can be bored for the first 20 minutes, and then the next one we'll just have like a 20-minute firework display behind us or something.
It sounds like a smart idea, actually.
Yeah,
but no, so
it's in our budget.
Yeah, that's my little bit of good news, which for the week it's been very quiet. I mean, next week I've got a bit of a busy week, because I've got my last ISO training course, and it's also Father's Day next week, so I'll say I've got that.
Do we have the same Father's Day in?
Well, ours is the 4th. Is it the 4th? Yeah, 4th of September.
Yeah, I think ours is around there. Because that was one thing that I remember when I lived in London. I called my mum and my dad for Father's Day and Mother's Day and went, "All right, love, happy Father's Day." And I actually literally said that to my dad. And he's like, "Thanks. It's not Father's Day." I was like, "You serious?" Like, Tesco's has it. Like, all these people get something for your father. I was like,
Northern Hemisphere versus Southern. Again, this is... I don't get... I mean, it's not an Aussie thing specifically, but I don't know why we have to have 2 separate days in different parts of the hemispheres. It doesn't make any sense. But to be fair, I don't... You know, the fact is that we have Christmas down here and it's boiling hot. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. Like when I was living in Vermont in New England, I remember coming outside and we just had like a 3.5 kilo of a dump of snow. And the first thing after I worked in the kitchen there to cook breakfast for all the people that were staying there over Christmas, was to shovel 6 feet of snow, and then got a call from my mum after that, an email from my mum after that, saying, "Oh yeah, it's 38 degrees here," and I'm like,
lovely.
I've literally just put 60. It was weird because though it was Christmas and though we were doing like Christmas turkey, it still didn't feel like Christmas because I'm so used to hot Christmas.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing for you, it's kind of probably the same.
For me, I have the opposite effect. So I find it exceptionally odd when I'm walking around, like buying Christmas presents and hearing Christmas music, and the sun is burning me alive, and it's nearly 30. Yeah. It's like the high 30s, maybe low 40s occasionally, and I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful." It's like, oh yeah, oh god, it's torrential outside. God,
I was gonna say it is frightful. I literally have sweat dripping down the crack of my ass, and you're singing about "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow."
It's the weirdest thing. I mean, but don't get me wrong. I like the way. I mean, I think we've already segmented into Aussie, culture our first topic anyway. But I love the way that like here it's like obviously the Christmas dinner back in England and pretty much most of the Northern Hemisphere is get together, have a very large meal. Pretty sure that's what Sunday dinner is training for Christmas. Basically. And you just end up having all this food, but then you suffer on Christmas Day, especially because you decide to cook more.
He's on.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, yeah, you just literally just tore for me, and I was like, "Aw."
Oh, sorry. I
was like, "Don't come back to me."
Oh,
okay, that makes more sense. So you were talking, but I was horrible.
That's okay. It's all right. No, basically, what happens is I find that obviously, like in the Northern Hemisphere, it's about the big meal, eating until you're stuffed beyond belief, and you're like, you don't want to move the rest of the day. Whereas down here, it's pretty much you get together with other people or you get together with your family, and it's bring a plate, and it's salads and lights, and there's
and barbecues.
There's barbecue and stuff like that, but it's pretty much not this gigantic starch-laden meal.
Yeah, because for example, I grew up. My mum and my background's all Italian, so normally what we do is we'll have a normal lasagna and a vegetarian lasagna, which, to be fair, most people don't eat heaps of it. We will often have some prawns. We'll have some oysters. We have probably about 6 or 7 salads. We'll have some what they call it. So with zucchini, you slice it probably about 3 or 4 centimeters. You breadcrumb it, then you shallow fry it. So it goes like these almost like zucchini chips. We do like eggplants and stuff. So everything's a lot more lighter and it's more sort of Mediterranean in that regards. But like I know people as well that they'll do like a roast chicken or a roast. They don't normally turkey sometimes, but not many people have turkey here. Like it's not a big thing.
My mum got turkey once. And it was fine, but it was expensive as anything because nobody wants turkey here, and it's like it's kind of like I do miss having a turkey dinner because it was my one time of the year I got a turkey dinner. So
oh really? Yeah.
So
if you ever go to America around Thanksgiving, like all of them do turkeys, and it's so easy to find turkey.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is turkey bacon. So it's really big for
Turkey bacon.
Muslim and Jewish and stuff that can't eat it.
Okay.
So what they do is they make turkey bacon.
So it's bacon, but it's turkey jerky.
So yeah, so it's made from, I believe it's made from the thigh of a turkey from memory, and then they do a similar thing where they use nitrates and stuff to actually like cure it. And it does crisp up kind of like that. Like it has a little bit of like liquid smoke and different things in it, and then they cure it. And it's
I'll be
bizarre.
honest, Des, you're not selling this to me.
I won't lie though, like you have it and it gives you the same crunch, the same texture as it, but it doesn't feel as greasy, which is weird because that's probably the main reason why you do it. But I understand why it's more healthy and why people really like it.
But
Like
bacon
it's one of those
is
things
good
that
for me, Des.
I trust me, man. Swear to God, man. If it was between one or the other, I know I would take. I'm like, it's like this pork bacon's gonna kill you. Yeah, I still have that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Something nice, and I think it is good because even friends of mine that were Jewish, they were just like, oh, we've always wanted bacon, and they're like, oh, but we have this turkey bacon, and they made me try it. I'm like, it's actually not that bad. Like I feel like what you need to do is when the turkey bacon comes out, the oil that you've cooked it in, just pour it over the top, and then don't put it on paper towel, and then that's what it would taste like. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, that's probably it, 'cause it just needs to be a little bit more oilier and a little bit more fatter. But
Okay.
I won't lie, like if you get a chance to try it, it's not a bad thing. But
Well,
if you can get normal bacon, just put turkey bacon back.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound tempting, Des, in any way, shape, or form. But if I ever get a chance, I will give it a shot. To be fair, I remember the first time we went to Thailand on our honeymoon, and you can't get pork sausages because pork's considered a dirty animal there and blah blah blah. And so it was, but it's like, oh well, what's the sausages? They're chicken. Excuse me, what? Chicken sausages? Yeah, and you have them, you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah, I won't. There's a few places where the chicken sausages, because I don't know, but like what's weird though is most sausages you get off the shelf are normally going to be pork and veal. You can normally get a straight pork sausage or a veal sausage. But yeah, like there's a place in Yarraville which is probably where I used to live many moons ago, and they used to have, I think it was Andrew's Choice sausages, and they used to do all these different ones. So they had a green chicken curry sausage. They had chicken and mango. They had like beef. What was it? Beef and black bean. They had like beef and pepper and all these different, like all kinds of weird things. But they'd won awards and stuff. So they used an all natural casing, which for people that don't want to know what that is, that's just intestines that have been bleached and cleaned of everything. So yeah, if you ever hear natural casings, you're eating intestines. Things you know from Des.
Hey, to be fair, it's the one. I mean, I'm a sausage fiend. Obviously, I come from a county that has a very famous sausage. Cumberland sausage.
Yeah, I was going to say and
but
that's the thing.
It's one thing I mainly miss about England, because they don't do sausages right down here because you guys don't use rusk, which is annoying, and I really miss it. To be fair, I found one butcher who's nearish me, who uses an alternative. He's an English butcher who's come over here, and his grandfather was a butcher, and so he knows. Obviously, he can't get rusk, so he's found an alternative, and it's nearly there. It's about there, but it's not as texture enough. But it's on the way. It's edible.
Well, that I won't lie though, because our sausages they're a lot lighter, they're a lot leaner. For us, it's more like throwing sausages on a barbecue. Like, for example, if you ordered bangers and mash here, like a lot of people would be like, why would I just get two or three fat sausages and mash? It's not really that good. And that was the one thing when I first went to London, I was like, why would you just get mashed and sausages? I don't get it. But when you try their sausages, there's something different about it. It's heartier. It feels meatier. The flavor and texture of it is so much different.
That's the rusk.
And yeah, exactly. But it was the weirdest thing to me because I was like I've had bangers and mash. I've worked at pubs and different clubs and stuff that have had bangers and mash, and I'm like, I wouldn't order them. They're just a couple of snags that they've chucked on some mash. It's not that great. And then the first time I went to London, and they're like, oh, do you want some bangers and mash? I was like, screw it, I'll try it. It's something they're famous for, so why not? Yeah. And it was weird. Like it's kind of like when you go, oh, I'm gonna have difference between bacon and turkey bacon. Like technically, they're still the same kind of thing, but the vastness of flavor and texture and the flavor profiles are like 100 times different. And I'm like, it's like that's the one thing. That's the other thing that blew my mind because yeah, I'm used to just throwing sausages on the barbecue out the back and you're good to go. Where there, it was more a meal. It was like having a steak. It was like having like something. It was the weirdest feeling for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll say, honestly, I'm going to gorge myself when I go back to England. I'm going to need to lose probably a good 10, 15 kilos. I'm going to eat myself to death while I'm away. Between sausages and gammon. Oh, can't wait to have gammon. Gammon again.
And for all those people, when you want to know when Jordan's here, this is what you'll probably hear. The UK has reported today that sausages are no longer available. They've all been eaten. We're not sure what the cause is, but there seems to be a vast number of sausages off the deli shelves.
Yeah,
Then Jordan just gets rolled back into New Zealand, and we're all good to go.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm
not going to lie, Des, that's what it's going to be like.
And I would be disappointed with you if it wasn't.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a good holiday back to England when I do. But I'm gonna need to lose about 10, 15 kilos, my friend. I'm gonna put on some weight while I'm there.
So if we're still doing the podcast then, and Jordan comes back, we're probably just gonna have a podcast that literally is called Sausage Fest.
Maybe I'll go get my medical done and get all my blood reports done.
Oh my god!
Before and after. So we can see how bad.
Jesus.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan, I'd just like to let you know, you should be dead. Your arteries are made up of more Cumberland sausage than anything.
Oh, it would be.
It tells me here that your blood is 28% mashed potato.
My blood is gravy.
Oh man, that'd be amazing. No. But yeah, I that episode, if you do come back and you tell us about all the things you've eaten and drank, all of the things that you've had fun in, it has to be called Sausage Fest.
Sausage Fest, yeah, well, I'm sure.
Whether it's Sausage Fest 2022 or 2023 or whenever he goes back.
I'm sure we can easily call the episode that, but yeah. One of our main topics I want to discuss was Aussie culture, and the reason why I want to discuss this is there's one, I've actually started watching Bluey, number one, which is an Australian kids cartoon.
He's getting to this very late.
But
Bluey's like
Bluey's awesome. It's so good. It's not designed for kids. I like how it's designed for kids. Yeah. No, that stuff is aimed at adults. The stuff that they deal with. It's so good.
Oh my god! So for anybody out there listening, Bluey is he's about a 5 or 6 year old blue heeler dog that we have here.
She's a 6-year-old blue heeler.
Is it she?
She's a she, and she has a sister called Bingo. Her mum is Calypso? No, Callie, and then dad is Bandit. But basically they're like 5-6 minute episodes. Very good for young kids' attention spans. Number one. But
and for Jordan's.
And for me, it's great. Yeah, but they're so fun. They're brilliant.
Yeah, so I haven't actually watched it, but yeah, I knew it was about a blue heeler, which is a type of dog that we get here. I don't know if they get them all over the world, but we get it here. So there's red and blue heelers.
You can. I have seen them in England, but they are very rare.
Yeah, like, they've kind of got this. So their coat kind of has this greyish, kind of bluish tinge to it. So it's kind of almost like a whitish grey with kind of a bluish tinge, and then it's kind of got like normally has a few like little darker sort of like greyish sort of dark blue dots sort of on it where they're kind of like ghosted into the thingo. But yeah, so it's kind of. I think the reason why they've probably named it after that is because it is a Australian dog.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it looks like but it's weird though because I think it's the mum and the dad are blue and then the other ones are red.
No, mum's red. Mum's a red heeler, dad's a blue heeler, and Bluey, the oldest, is a blue heeler, and Bingo's a red heeler. So.
But it's just pretty much Bluey and Bingo's hijinks by the sounds of things.
It is. It's brilliant. It's lovely. But the main thing the one thing I don't understand about Aussie culture is what I saw on TikTok this week, because it's very big this week.
This
adults
TikTok,
adult people going to an adult only Wiggles concert.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I personally don't understand it. There was a guy called what was his name? I think it was Peter Russell Clark. And Peter Russell Clark, I don't know, did you have Peter Russell Clark in the UK?
No. This is
So-
the thing, is that obviously I never grew up with the Wiggles. The Wiggles were not a thing when I was growing up, sort of thing. We had, like, Noel's house party, we had Mr. Blobby, we had lots of other random... Blue Peter was our thing, sort of thing, you know? So that was kind of it. But the Wiggles was, like... God, no one... I've never heard of it until I came down for a visit. Or when I got older and you hear about the Wiggles, and it's like, what's the Wiggles? And it's like, oh, it's...
Yeah, no, sorry, it wasn't Peter Russell Clark. Peter Russell Clark was a chef. But there was this other kids entertainer who very much was in the same vein as the Wiggles, but came about 20 years earlier. You think I remember his name? Maybe it was Peter Coon. I don't know. And he would do the same kind of things. Peter Coombs, I think his name was. No, I don't know. He was something, but he sang that kind of same thing. And I got a message from a friend of mine, Claire, who said, "Oh, listen, we're going to see this person. Did you want to come?" And I was like, "Wait, what? Has he like started a band or thing?" He's like, "No, he's singing his old stuff." And I was like, "So he's singing like newspaper or something weird like this?" And it was the same kind of thing where it was just like, it was weird. Yeah, Peter, I think it is. Yeah, it's Peter Coombe, I think it was, who does like vocalists and stuff like that. I think he was also on. Oh, I can't remember, but he did all these kid shows. He was on Play School and different things. And he did like this children's album called, oh yeah, that's right, Newspaper Mama, back in 1988. And he was really big when I did. And Claire, who I love to pieces, like Claire's one of my favorite people in the world. She works at the zoo, and she's a big nerd. And I'm like, I love her. She's the best girl ever. And her boyfriend's just as cool. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, oh, me and such are going to see Peter Coombe. And I'm like, oh, I must have a thing. No, he was literally doing it's like a 20-year or 25-year release of his big hit, which was Newspaper Mama. And he literally she sent me videos, and the same thing. It was an adults only where you could drink, and you listen to him to sing kids songs from back to 1988. And I'm like, I don't know why. Like this thing confused me more than when Step Club 7 came out with 3 people. Like,
to be fair, like, for example, I mean, God forbid, we booked a festival, but then it got cancelled, obviously, because of the global crisis and all that jazz. But we were going to go to a concert, a festival, and things like the Venga Boys were on, and several other several golden oldies that were like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I get when you want to go see a band, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, would I go to watch, like... I mean, I'm looking at who was a famous 90s or noughties UK kids presenter. You got things like Ant and Dec. They used to do stuff. Sarah Cox, Denise Van Outen, Johnny Vaughan, all these, Andy Peters. It's just that some of these stuff is just funny to look. Cat Deeley. I remember Cat Deeley with Ant and Dec every Saturday. It was Saturday morning TV. It was just mental.
Anton Deck is one people that I'm like, I see them everywhere, and I'm like, I don't even know where they started.
They started off on a show called Biker Grove.
Oh, really? Yeah, because they would, like, when I was in the UK or wherever you watch, like, anything UK that gets televised to Australia as well, they seem to always be the host. Like, even I think they were the host of Celebrity in the Jungle, or Get Me Out of Here, or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, whatever it is.
Yeah,
they seem to be on everything. And when I was in the UK, like, so we've got a guy called Andrew G, who then became Andrew, and it was some Polish name because he's going back to his roots. The same kind of person. He's kind of the host of everything. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got The Bachelor, he's got all these things. Like, he's the same sort of thing.
He's the same sort of, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he used to do it with a guy called, I can't remember now. I'm going to forget. But yeah, but it was the same thing. I was like, Australia and England have just kind of grabbed these hosts, and they're like, now they host everything. And any reality show, whether it be Australian Idol, whether it be they were there.
It's funny because, right, basically, when Biker Grove is it's about a community centre, like an after-school club where kids would go hang out back in the night. It was meant to be set. I think it was set in the early 90s. But of course, it's all these different characters and all that. And they introduced Ant and Dec, who, were they called Ant and Dec on the show? No, they weren't. They were called something else. But when they introduced them, and everyone loved them and they were great, and then sort of they got all hyped, and then the character died. One of the characters died, and there was all this big oh my god, and they realised they had a thing there, and then they moved on to a music career, and they did the song "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," which is amazing. It's so good.
Okay, that's.
If that doesn't ring a bell, it's a treat for your ears, Des. You'll love it. So you have to listen
to Google, I guess.
To Google. But with that as well, and then they went off the scene for ages. Like they disappeared, sort of thing. And then suddenly they got offered some hosting gigs for doing. I think did they start off on Britain's Got Talent? I'm assuming it was BGT first. It was either BGT first or it was Thing Me Bob. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here sort of thing. It was one of the they did. I think they might have done some minor representing gigs, but then they got that, and then suddenly it was like whoosh, and then they sort of went into the spotlight from there, sort of thing, and everyone loved them. And even though Dec's been a bit of a naughty boy throughout the years.
Oh, has he?
Oh yeah, enjoying himself a little bit too much, as you can imagine. So so
he had way too much bangers and mash for those young kids listening.
Yeah, far too much bangers and mash, far too much. But so Aussie culture, I find it fascinating being down here now, and likewise, I assume you went through the same thing when you went to England for a little trip.
Yeah, like it is weird, like there's certain things like obviously you see things like when I went to America as well, same kind of thing where you see these American you see like America and you're like, oh, I know what it is because I've technically seen it on television and stuff like that, and it's just so vastly different, and I'm like, the hell, because it really is like there's just something that's kind of weird about it, but kind of also wonderful in that regards as well. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just, it is. And then the problem is too, like, for example, like, obviously it's not until I go there, or as you said, you've come to New Zealand, that you pick up on a lot of this stuff, because quite often you're like, oh yeah, like, you don't think of it because it's not something that is normally happening, like, or it's just everyday life. Like, what's that big, stupid pink guy with the yellow dots on?
Mr. Blobby.
Mr. Blobby. So I got to the UK, and after I'd been there a few months, there was this stupid song by Mr. Blobby that went to number one. And it is literally like, imagine like a Wiggles song going to number one. And that was pretty much what it was. It was ridiculous. And then the weirdest thing about it too, though, is when I went to Oceania in Kingston, the DJ would play it. All he'd do is he'd put like a techno backing track on it and then play Mr. Blobby over the top. And people were losing their friggin' minds. Like, I was like, the hell? Like, I don't know. It'd be like going to see, I guess it's like the over 18 people seeing the Wiggles, but it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it just, to me, I'm like, I'm still yet to, like, with that being said, I haven't been to clubs in a while, but I'm still yet to hear like a Wiggles song at a club.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever. I've never heard. I've never actually listened to a Wiggle song yet. So I know the Wiggles do songs, and I know that. What is it, Hot Potato or something like that? I'm aware of that roughly, or Small Potato. It's something about potatoes, but that's the only one I'm aware of. But I know that there are.
I think it's Hot Potato, maybe.
Yeah, but no, that's
I don't know, yeah, but it is. It's just, but yeah, like, I won't lie, yeah, like, 'cause I think it was, it might have been Peter Coon or something like that, but it was just funny because when she did that, that was the first thing. And then when you messaged me about, we're going to do this and we're going to talk about the Wiggles, I'm like, the Wiggles? And he's like, yeah, they had an over 18 concert. I'm like, oh my God.
No, it was just the fact that I was just like, so, like, I saw one TikTok said, on the way to the OG Wiggles concert, no kids allowed. And I'm like, what? And then suddenly that was a rabbit hole. I shouldn't have clicked, I shouldn't have investigated, man. Whoosh, straight. There was people going mental at these concerts, like around New Zealand and around Australia, and I'm like, that is so weird. That's like me getting excited to go to a Teletubbies concert, Nobody does.
Hey, settle down. You leave Tinky Winky alone.
So obviously tech, house tech.
Yes.
So probably we'll start off. Basically, I'm going to be moving house soon. They're currently building it. I'm very excited. Can't wait. I'm actually gonna have a good size office rather than a shoebox that I'm currently broadcasting from. So obviously, I'm gonna need some sound panels and blah blah blah. I'm gonna have to go in and start clicking and testing acoustics and all that jazz.
What is your budget?
Budget at the moment. Well, at the moment, so my office. So at the moment, office wise, the only thing I need, because obviously I've bought the light panels and stuff like that, as you've seen, sort of thing. I'm having a sit stand desk. Sort of thing.
Darling.
That's part of the build price, so that's already good, which is good. It's like 2 meters long and holds.
Oh, nice.
So it's designed for me and Eddie can game together and stuff like that down the line.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's going to be cool. So the only thing I now need for my office, realistically, is a gaming chair. So I need to, and I can't work out what's a good
Secret Labs
price point, because I don't want to spend $1,000 on a blue
Secret
chair.
Labs.
Secret Labs?
Yeah, they're about $769 from memory.
Okay.
So Flaming Scott, who I mentioned earlier, which is kind of weird, he's just got one, and he's somebody that has struggled with bad back. He's had issues with. It's really weird. Like we joke about it that he's got no butt, and then the other day he stood up and it literally does. He calls it his back extension now, and it literally goes straight down.
Right.
Like he has more of a bulge in the front than he does in the back. And as I always joked with him, I'm like, and there's not a bulge in the front. But yeah, he calls it his back extension. So he's found it really hard to find chairs.
Okay.
So I do know that there's a normal one and then there's an extra large one, which goes up to like 170 kilos or something stupid, which you're probably not going to need. But there's just like, supposedly they are a little bit more expensive than some of the cheaper ones you can get. But he's been raving about it because he'll stream for 7 hours, 5 days a week. Plus, he'll also play like VR and stuff afterwards.
That's the one thing is I want a comfortable chair because from having office chairs using them as streaming, it does get uncomfortable after a couple of hours, and I kind of want something that I can sit there and go, oh crap, oh it's been 4 hours,
Please.
So Secret
also,
Lab.
guys, if you do have anything, please put it in the comments.
Yes,
because we would be happy to check out. Because, like, I do know of a few other ones, but a lot of them there are some really expensive ones.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I don't mind paying for a good one, but I want it to be good that will. I don't want to break the bank, but I don't want to cheap out. I'm not going to cheap out on the bill because I know I'm going to be using it day in and day out because my office is going to be my office during the day. It's an office for working from home, and then at night with flick on the light panels, get the make it.
This is the fireworks we're talking about.
Make it my street, make it my stream area sort of thing. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to make it look proper. So that's the reason why I'm using the light panels is mainly to sort of give me a
change from day to night.
Because I mean, for example, I hate the room I'm currently in. I hate. I've lost all love for content creating because I use this room every day to work in, and it really annoys me. But it's like the best place to work for when I have to make calls and stuff like that, rather than being and taking over the living room and stuff. So that's my office. We're having a media room, which is called the Snug, which is what my office is attached to, sort of thing.
Ooh.
So it's got a cavity wall slider. It's going to be quite nice.
And that's when all the magic happens.
That's when all the magic happens. So in the
Netflix and chill, as we like to call the Snug.
So what we're going to have is we're going to have an ultra short throw projector. That's going to rather than having a ceiling mounted one because I always think they look ugly, and even the nice ones don't look nice.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then I saw these ultra short throw ones. You put them on a cabinet and they fire up onto the wall, and quite frankly, they're cheaper.
I must say too, though, there's been a lot of really good things coming to projection. There's actually one, I think it was made by Samsung, and it's actually like a long kind of like thing that almost looks like it could be like probably about a similar size to like a whiskey. When you buy like whiskey and sometimes you get the cool boxes. Yeah. Kind of like that. And one actually has a bit that pulls up and it's just got a little thing. So the projection happens up and throws it onto the wall. But projection units now are nowhere near as expensive what they used to use.
Mm.
Also, the lights in them are a lot better, so they haven't
Yeah.
changed. So you tend to find that that you're not replacing the globes constantly or anything like that. So it's actually become quite cost effective.
Yeah. No. So yeah, the one I found at the moment, there's a brand in New Zealand called Me. They're a brand. They're a Japanese company, and they're starting to get into the market here. But like, if I was to compare like the price of their expensive one against, you know, Sony's version or whatever, we're
Yeah.
talking about $3,000 cheaper. And
Oh,
spec wise, it is pretty much up there as well. They're just the problem is that they are. I don't want to say like they're brand new, but you know they've been around for a
yeah.
while. It's just, you know, there's no like, oh yeah, it's like, for example, like you know, like laptops for me. If I'm having a
Yeah.
laptop, I get an Acer because I like Acer. I've used Acers and they work. They're great. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong
exactly.
with Toshiba or anything like that. I just prefer Acers, don't
Yeah,
I? You know?
and there is sometimes there is some brand loyalty there.
Yeah.
Like I've got a friend that will literally only buy Alienware, and to be
Mm.
fair, Alienware stuff's great. Like totally do it. But
Alienware
like,
looks fantastic. The looks and performance is great. The one thing I don't like about Alienware is the price tag that's associated with that.
yeah, well that's the thing though, and that's one thing that I try to teach when people ask me about tech. So Andy, a mate of mine, he's had this laptop that he's been gaming on for probably about 8 or 10 years. Um, Yeah, and it's eventually finally died. The only thing he plays on it is WoW, so I know it doesn't need massive specs.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you get? So for me, I'm like, and the first thing I ask for anybody, is there any brands that you like?
Mm.
And that's one thing that I've always said. Is there any brands you like? And if there is, cool. If there's not, it opens up your world a whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I do say to people, and especially when I do reviews and things like that, is that yeah, true, you could get the Logitech keyboard, or you could get the this or that, but there's a number of things out there that is, if you don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing,
Mm.
quite often you can do that. But if you like Acer and you like that, there's definitely going to be specs for you there.
Yeah.
You may have to pay a little bit extra because of the brand, but at the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
cool because that's something that you want to do. And I think that this is actually a good lesson for a lot of people, is that don't be afraid to look outside the box. Like obviously you don't want to be like what we've done obviously with our recent competition is go to AliExpress. But have a look at brands, and that's one thing. Like when I was doing research for my own office, the one thing that I was doing was I was going to research other brands, ones that aren't from big name companies, ones that aren't necessarily game brands, but look at the specs.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So this short throw projector, I quite like, and the one issue with it is that it doesn't have a full developed smart TV system built in. And I was like, oh, that's annoying. The lower quality one does, but this is like a brand new one. They haven't worked out everything with it yet. And I was like,
does it have a HDMI?
Yeah, but it does. But I spoke to when I was talking to the girl in the store about it. She's like, well, to be fair, we can throw in the TV stick that they have, which I was like, okay, but they also do a TV box, which is $50 more, and it does a hell of a lot more. And so I'm actually thinking, well, when I come to buy this, I might actually say, look, I'll pay the difference. Can I have the TV box instead?
Yeah,
just so
I
I
mean,
can
why
have
not?
more options. So yeah,
Well, that's the thing though. Like the TV that I'm running at the moment is like an old 42-inch TV that my housemate had for years. When we moved in together like 10 years ago, I ended up selling mine and getting a couple $100 for it. And yeah, obviously when smart TV comes out and obviously streaming services, we weren't able to use it. But we literally bought the Fire Stick. And it's been great. Like it's turned it into a smart TV. And to most people, I'm like, unless you're doing something that you need a lot more for us personally, for the Australian market, now that they seem to have stepped up their game a lot, it works for everything. And those little sticks don't take up much.
No, they don't. And to be fair, my mother and dad and stepdad, they were finally getting rid of Sky, thank Lord, because they couldn't keep up with the price hikes anymore. And I said, well, I'll get you a TV stick. Oh, well, how does it work? I said, well, what do you watch? We like to watch, apart from some specific shows. I'm like, where you can get everything on Freeview, TVNZ on demand, or Netflix or Disney Plus, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said, you're fine anyway. I said if there are other ones, so if you say you want to watch a sporting event, you could download and subscribe to Sky Sports Go for this, the Premier League or whatever, and you could just pay. Or I can watch all the matches of the Premier League job done, or I could watch the World Cup rugby, and then I'm signed up just for that bit. And they'll try and convince you to stay, but you don't have to, sort of thing.
Well, that was the thing though. There was something on Stan, which was obviously we were talking about. That was right, the resort that we were talking about the other day. And Cherish wanted to watch that, and it just happened that I was like, oh cool, we'll see if we can find it. And it's like, okay, it's on Stan, that's fine. We don't have Stan. Maybe we can just get it for a month because it was only like $14. There's other shows on there that I know that she'd probably watch as well. And then what was weird was one of the guys from work just went, Derek, do you have Stan? I was like, no, why? He's like, he goes, because I got a free month, but I already got it, so I don't need it. And he gave me a card with a free month on it, so it worked out all right.
Job done.
And now she's watched, I think, all of it. I think there was one episode that came out on Friday that she hasn't seen.
Yes.
But other than that, like she's used it. It's been great. And then she just literally disconnects. But like just before we started this podcast, she wanted to watch something on, I think it was like SBS, because now it does a lot better content rather than just foreign boobs. It was some documentary, and it was just easy. Like you literally go into the stick, you download it, you can log in online. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. But yeah, you can just log in online, and then you can just watch. It's coming, I know it is. But
That's what she says.
Not with me, she doesn't. Oh wait, yeah, yes, that's right. Single ladies. But no, but it's so easy, and like there's been times where she's been like, watch this show, and you click on they advertise stuff, and they'll be like, watch this, and you click on it, and you're like, you need a subscription to X, and then often it will just be like, sign up and get a free 30-day thingo. So she'll put it on and she'll watch that. The flexibility of it, like obviously being a smart TV would be better. But some of these sticks, or as you said, TV boxes, just allow for that little bit of extra freedom.
Yeah. No, they're sweet.
And I really rate them. But there are some panels that I looked at that I really like. And what they are is they look like, they'll hang behind me. And if Duty, if you're watching, I'm going to try to get something behind here. So Duty, the guy I was talking about last episode, goes, I like your podcast, but there's nothing behind you. And I was like, yeah, but I'm renting and it's just like a clear wall. So I'm going to try to find some kind of poster or something to put behind here just to keep Duty happy because his name is fun and it's cool to say. I was thinking of just getting a duct tape and just duct taping a banana there like we were speaking about.
Obviously you need to duct tape a banana there.
But yeah, like, I don't even know where I was going now. I've lost it. Talking about
TVs.
I was talking about Duty and taping a banana to a wall.
And TV panels behind you.
Oh, yeah. And they're actually these, so there are these panels that they look like they're cut out of, so they've got all these cool designs and they're cut out of, MDF or something. And then they're covered in material and they have another one backing material. So you can get them in all different shapes and sizes. And the one that I was looking at had 3 skinny panels that you could change different colors and stuff. And they look like art kind of thing, and they look like cool things on the wall, but they're actually acoustic panels.
Oh, okay.
And there's been a few people that I've seen, they're over in the States, I know, but there's a few people that I've seen that have actually gone, they're actually really good. They just take a slight echo out of the room, and you can get obviously bigger panels depending on the size of your room and depending on what you need. And then there's about 15 or 16 different cool like geometric shapes and stuff you can use, and then you pick the backing color.
Could you do me a favor and send me a link to these?
Yeah, that's what I planned on doing that already. But but there was that I was looking at. Also, I was thinking of making the IKEA desk with the countertop. So there's a few that I've seen that. So I was going to make that where you get a couple of drawers, you get a couple of standoffs, and then you put the countertop on top of that. And then what I was going to do is because I think it's 2.5 meters, actually get a second leg just in case in the middle, just in case. So then I could have my computer on one side and kind of have like photography or something on the other, or even just like do some miniature painting or something like that because both Jordan and I are a bit of nerds in like miniature painting.
Yes, no.
Don't judge it. Don't judge us. There's a reason it's called Dorks Down Under, all right, guys?
There's nothing wrong with painting in a 25mm scale. I'll tell you that right now.
They're 32 now, mate. What are you talking about?
What, the increased size? Oh, God's sake. Oh, I'm out then. Yeah. I'm out. I'm only painting 25mm scale.
So he goes, that 7mm is gone. No.
To be fair, I mean, Ellie used to tell me off all the time. She's like, She said, "Why don't you just paint bigger things like you know?" And I'm like, "Because I like the skill. It's simple. The skill."
Have you ever done that? So I painted obviously when I was painting a bit because so Warhammer 40k I don't understand, don't play the games, don't care for them, just really like painting, and for me it's really therapeutic. I find it just relaxes me a lot.
Yeah.
And then we went to this place that was, well, back in the day we had this thing called the Plaster Fun House. We used to have like little plaster things that you could go pick off the wall, you pay for it, and then you could paint it. So I was like, okay, cool. So there was something like that, and it was like more of an adult one where you get to drink and you get to paint these things and stuff. And it was about this big versus this big. And I was sitting there and I was putting in like feathers and I was freehanding whole heap of stuff because it was so big. I was like, man, I've got so much room to play with like this. And the girl walked up to me and just went, "Are you an artist?" I was like, "No." And it's just weird. Like, I dare you to paint the little miniatures and then go to something bigger. And it just gives you so much freedom. And I won't lie, you realize you're like, damn, I'm a good painter.
Oh no, I at least tried to convince me to do it.
Yeah, like I feel like there could be some really cool things we could do. So
Definitely.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all this stuff, make you buy it. And then when things don't work, I'll be like, I'm not doing that on my hand.
That'll be great. That'll be a great podcast episode.
Just Jordan just losing his mind. And then I'll be like, oh, bro, that's cool. Well, I'm not going to do that in my office now. Mm-hmm. So I get to try run. But no, there are some really cool things out there. And there's a few cool speakers that have come out. SteelSeries have just released these cute little speakers that will literally blow your eardrums off as well.
I think what we'll do, just to save time this week, because I think we got a bit carried away with Aussie. But I think what we'll do is we can carry this conversation on next time, definitely. Especially as we're going to be doing, I'm going to be streaming and you're hopefully going to go to DreamHack and all that. So we'll probably have some more tech ideas sort of thing. So we can maybe discuss further improvements to what to add on. But yeah, speakers would be good as a good discussion, I think. But yeah, again, any recommendations, put them in the comments section.
For sure.
Please do. It's always useful.
And whether it's like big brands, like whether it is like, as I said, whether it's like SteelSeries, like I said, or whether they're like other cool, like just little off the wall brands that you haven't heard of, by all means, because I think it is the, so if anybody wants to know the speakers that I'm talking about, I will send Jordan a link so he can put some pictures in, but they're the SteelSeries Arena 11s. Okay. So they can either have freestanding or you can have some ones that are in the subwoofer, but they have a 3, 7, and 9. Sorry, Arena 9. Sorry, so there's a 3, 7, and 9. But there's some really cool speakers, but they're small, which is good. It's not gonna be like you're gonna have like another tower of just speakers. But all right, well, these things are cool. I want to get some.
We'll carry that on next episode. On for next episode. It's all right. No, it's good. No, I'm keeping us on point, Des. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, for those people listening, I'm very sorry, but when you talk nerdy to me, it's kind of my thing.
Catching you riding nerdy, is that it?
Oh mate, it's even better than Channel 4. Seriously, for me, like you send me a JB Hi-Fi, which is a tech company here, kind of like Best Buy over in America or GameStop. You send me one of those catalogs. Gonna need some time alone.
Okay, all right, no worries. We can hopefully it's laminated for you to catch the tears of joy. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on this week's podcast, Dorks Down Under. Obviously, co-host myself is Jordan with Des. We didn't actually do an intro with our names. You can make sure that you follow us on our YouTube as well as Twitter. We are on Spotify as well, which is great. And yeah, keep the comments rolling and stuff like that. It's good to see we've had some interaction and stuff like that. So thank you very much to all those new subscribers that we've been getting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been exciting. It's been good because I feel like with this kind of podcast being as broad as it is, Jordan and I get to nerd out on a lot of our things rather than being pigeonholed and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun talking about different things. The Wiggles and Bluey got a mention, which is always fun.
And then Neighbours.
I won't lie, I didn't think.
S Club 7 was mentioned at one point.
Yeah, man, we got some really topical stuff on this week, man. Yeah, we got kids shows.
We should have just said, "Oh, we're only going to do Australian content this week." That would have been good.
Yeah, that went to hell. But
that went to hell. That's fine. These things happen. We're still learning our way, Des. That's fine.
To our superstardom is what we're going to say.
But anyway, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Stay safe, enjoy yourselves, and remember to like, subscribe, share it, let people know that we're out there. Thank you very much.
Yes. And look up the Harry Potter Star Wars thing.
Yes.
It'll blow your mind.
Catch you guys later.
Layers.